Hey, what's going on guys? It's me, Aiden, from Cartoon Apocalypse, and today I'm here with another Star vs. the Forces of Evil video. Now this video isn't necessarily a theory, but it's kind of the closest thing to a theory, because today I'm going to be talking about how Globgor is going to escape now that we have more information and things like that, because I did make a video about this a little while ago, but now we have some more information that I feel brings a lot to the table. Now before we get started with this video, I just want to say that this video was actually suggested by Lord Victorino, who actually talked about this same thing in our Discord, and you can go join the Discord. It's completely free, it's public. The link is down in the description below. Also, if you'd like to make suggestions, you can make suggestions there, or just comment them down in this video. That works as well. But thanks to Lord Victorino for writing his own theory and kind of talking about it, which I also agree. When he suggested the video and said that he had some things, I wanted to think about it first to see, I came up with my own ideas, and then he came up with his ideas, and then I compared them, and we both had very similar ideas. So I'm just going to be talking about it. So thanks again to Lord Victorino. He has a YouTube channel, and I'll leave that link down in the description below. It'd be awesome if you went to go check him out. But yeah, let's get on with this video. So first, we should probably talk about how Globgor actually got into the crystal in the first place. Now, for most people who've watched the show, that's pretty obvious. It's just Romulus crystallized him when they went to go take over, pretty much. And we know that the crystal is extremely hard to break, but magic and a bond between two queens, like how Eclipsa got out, as well as just Romulus himself, can break crystals. Now, we did see from the Season 4 promo, spoilers for if you haven't seen the Season 4 promo, just either click off the video or skip ahead a little bit, I don't know. But pretty much there was some scaffolding up around Globgor, which shows that people have either tried chipping away the crystal or things like that. So Eclipsa obviously doesn't either have a way right now, or she hasn't really tried much other than putting up scaffolding. We don't exactly know why the scaffolding's there, but we do know that it was probably to help either get Globgor out or something similar to that. Now we do know that Glosaric can break through the crystal, but as Lord Victorino pointed out, Glosaric isn't probably going to help. He's more of just a bystander. He doesn't, I don't know, it's just funny how Glosaric just doesn't care sometimes. And we don't even know if he went with Eclipsa or not, so we can just assume that he probably won't be able to help. Now one thing that Lord Victorino actually brought up was that maybe Star and Eclipsa could make a contract to bust out Globgor. However, I feel like that's kind of breaking the system a little bit, because while you could, and it wouldn't be too hard to, I feel like that's just not something that they would do, because it seems a little bit more extreme and it feels like there's more on the line there. Even though they probably could just make it harmless, it does feel more serious, and I don't think that they would end up doing that. But it is an interesting thought. Now for me personally, I have one big reason or idea on how Globgor is actually going to be broken out. In the Magic Book of Spells, there was a spell in Solarius chapter called CPS, which stood for Crystal Pulverizing Spell, which it says it's guaranteed to break any crystal you may encounter, especially Romulus's. And we do know that the Star crew put in spells that would be used in Season 4. That was confirmed from a panel that they did, or something like that. They were asked the question, and they did bring up that that was true. So for me, that just makes the most sense. However, like Lord Victorino said, if Eclipsa could just do it, then why put up the scaffolding? Which is a very important question we need to be asking, because there's not really much need for the scaffolding if you can just break it apart, unless if it was required for Globgor specifically for some reason other than just trying to get him out. So my guess is it isn't a lack of Eclipsa being able to do it, even though the spell, it does look like you have to have a certain kind of wand, or at least as far as a blade, because it does have some blade specific things, but I'm pretty sure you could turn your wand into that if you really wanted to. So I don't really think it's an inability to cast the spell. It might just be a memorization issue, because we don't have the Book of Spells, and Eclipsa was crystallized for a long time, so she may have just forgotten how to cast the spell. And I doubt that anybody else really knows how to cast the spell. Now Lord Victorino brought up a really interesting thing that I really hadn't thought of. In Solarius chapter, it talked about how she journeyed off to find some writings from Ancient Queen's spells to use for the Solarian Metamorphosis triple spell combo she did on Mina. So he is suggesting that maybe Star or possibly Eclipsa could journey off to find one of the writings that could help either remember the spell or that contain the spells or something similar to that. And when it was talking about that, it said that Solaria journeyed by ship. So it's likely that it was an island of some sort. And then Lord Victorino brings up how a vacation cabin in a volcano, which is where the queens go after they retire, has been brought up in both Star and Marco's Guide to Mastering Every Dimension, as well as the Magic Book of Spells. So he thinks that possibly there's a chance that the past queens and things like that have some original spells and things like that in that vacation home. So he's suggesting that they go there to look for more spells to possibly get out Globgor. And then he also brought up how in the new Season 4 promo, which again, spoilers for if you haven't seen it, we see Star like surfing on what appears to be lava, which also supports this theory. Now while this is a good idea and I think it's an amazing thing, and if it happened in the show that would be really awesome because it has a lot of plot and just lore tied into it, however, I don't actually think that this is what's going to happen. There's a lot of excess knowledge that needs to be had, and if it was going to happen, they would have to probably focus their own episode on it, and it happening in the first episode, I don't really think is likely, because my guess is that the first and second episode is going to be about Moon returning. So I think Star surfing on the lava was just looking for Moon. That's my guess on what the first episode is going to be. Now it is possible that the second part of the first episode, if it's not just focusing on two separate parts of finding Moon, there is a chance that there is something as far as getting Globgor out. And if they choose to get him out in the first episode, that means that he is going to be a big plot device in Season 4. And from the Season 4 promo, we did also see Eclipsa casting some sort of spell on something. We don't really know. All we see is Eclipsa doing a spell, which could be her attempting to get Globgor out. So I do think that we will see Eclipsa in the first episode attempting to free Globgor, but I don't think it's going to be the extent of this theory. So how are they going to free Globgor? Going back to that big question. I personally think that it is going to be using the Crystal Pulverizing spell. And even though Eclipsa might not know the spell and the Book of Spells is destroyed, that doesn't necessarily mean that all hope is lost. Either one, someone could remember it, two, it was written down somewhere else, or three, they can find a way to resurrect the book, or maybe Glossaric knows, something like that. Because we do know that a fragment of the Book of Spells is still left, and there's probably a way to get it back, just judging from magic and things like that. Pretty much anything's possible, so my guess is that there is a way to view the book. Not only that, we did see in Butterfly Trap that there was a holographic version of the Book of Spells, which was displayed from the Box of Truth. And I had actually theorized in my analysis on that episode, hey, what if this is actually how they viewed the Book of Spells in the future since it was destroyed? What if they just had a holographic image of it and just used the truth box to view it? I thought that was an interesting idea, and it's something that could possibly happen. Maybe they have records of the book, or maybe they made copies of the book because of what Skyween's issue was. The book was lost, and since that was the only record, everything was lost from the past queens. And Eclipsa seems like the kind of person who would copy the Book of Spells in case of something like that happened. So I do think that there is going to be a way to either recover the Book of Spells or have a copy of it in some way. Now there's also the question of why not just get Romulus to do it, but I don't think that it'll be that easy because that won't make for a very good episode unless if they really just want to not focus on this too much and just get it over with, because maybe Globgor is going to be used in the next couple episodes and they need him out quickly. But I honestly think that would be a pretty boring episode, just Eclipsa being like, hey Romulus, come over here and uncrystallize him. Why not just, just have it be done outside of an episode? I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a very interesting episode or something that would make a memorable moment for the fandom. So those were just my ideas and Lord Victorino's ideas. Again, thanks to Lord Victorino for helping me come up with this theory. Now, it does seem like Lord Victorino did all the work, but when I saw the suggestion notification, He said that he had worked on it, but I didn't check it out until I had my own time to process it, because I don't like to just only use people's theories, because I do like to think about it for myself and then see how my ideas compare with someone else's ideas, and etc. So just because it looked like I just completely copied off of Lord Victorino, that's not entirely true. We just happen to have very similar ideas. Also, Morpher was here for the conversation. I didn't exactly mention him. He also believed that the volcano idea wasn't necessarily something that he believed in happening either. So we did have similar ideas there. And again, if you want to participate in any of these conversations, you're welcome to. You can just join the Discord, and it's fun, and there's a lot of ideas that are shared and things like that. So if you want to help participate in videos, the link to the Discord down in the description below. But anyway, that's gonna be it for me, and I'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye.
My job?